What up? What up? This is RJ Fantasy Football talking. We back again. You
Again,
know what
again.
again. You know what
Yeah,
time it
yeah,
is.
yeah. Had a slight problem. It's been so long since we did it. I forgot how to make it go public. So
Yeah, it's all good though,
we're
man.
here for everybody now.
How you been though, man? It's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a while, but it's been a good while. Had some good times. Championships we talked about before it didn't quite go as great for us, but my wife got one for the team. So now we're looking at some real championships. Watching the Super Bowl coming up.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Oh Lord have mercy. I cannot do it with her. Like,
Oh,
hey,
don't
she's
hate though.
definitely she's family, but I can't take the Chiefs for so much. Lord have mercy.
Don't. Hey, I'm just saying the hate. You can't. You got to let it go. I mean,
Hey,
y'all were there. Y'all won 3/4 of a Super Bowl last year, but
whatever.
hey, get.
Whatever. I bleed red and gold. I don't
And you
know
should, as
anything
you
else.
should. Hey, you
I'm
bleed
sorry.
red and gold. I read black and silver.
No, you don't.
But when
It's
the
not
Chiefs
true.
are playing and the Raiders aren't, I'm gonna go with the family. So I'm halfway from Kansas City by
No,
marriage. So I
no,
got to root for the
no.
team.
We all know where you're really from. You're not halfway from Kansas City.
Yes,
So
I'm
let's be
halfway.
honest now.
Through marriage, I'm from Kansas City.
Okay, you
So
might have been to
there you go.
Kansas City, but you're not from
Yeah,
Kansas City. That's all right though.
you know.
That's cool. But I will say this. She's the only authentic Kansas City fan that I do know.
Oh,
Everybody else are bandwagon guys. I'm just saying that right
I'm
now.
gonna disagree with you because you do know one that has your same name. Watches our show sometime, Rodney.
Oh, Rodney.
Yeah, he's been through the hard times. I was telling you the story earlier about
Yeah.
how my wife and I, before we were even dating, were yelling at Roger Browns at back then the Chiefs and the Raiders were terrible. But also, me and Rodney used to do the same thing. We'd go to Roger Brown's. One time, Rodney and I were like, they wouldn't put our game on the big screens at Roger Brown's because they were so bad. So we were actually in the very back of Roger Brown's by the pool tables with the small little 13-inch TV in the corner having to keep moving out people's way because that's the only that's the only TV they would put our game on. So Rodney goes die hard. I give him props for that.
Okay. Well, it's two of them, so I'm gonna
So
say
two,
two. But
yeah. Everybody else
everybody
can
else
be
is
bandwagon,
bandwagon.
right?
So
Including
it's cool
myself. I'm
though.
not gonna lie to you. I only
That's all right.
I only root for them because my wife is from Kansas City. So, but I can
That's
appreciate what they're doing, especially from a fantasy football standpoint, because nobody do better for fantasy football than the Chiefs because they've got three great ones: Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill, all putting up numbers for fantasy. Yeah, Kelsey, best tight end in the game, don't you think?
no, not even a little bit. I mean, if you crunch the numbers, nah, my boy was hurt for 8 games, but whatever. You know, we're not gonna do that.
Right, right.
But you know what we do. We're gonna start off. We're gonna go ahead and jump into this way too early top
Right.
25. And
Yeah.
you can start. You can start
Yeah,
if you
well, let
want
me
to.
start because you don't have my list yet, so I'm actually gonna text it to you so I can get the live reaction from you.
Yeah, I want to see this list because
Press and
it might
send.
look different than mine. But okay.
Let me leave my
So
phone up because I'm gonna need my list myself to go back
yeah.
to.
So we can let's see how
So
close we are
yeah,
as far as the list. So let's
you
see.
sending yours or you got
Yeah,
yours?
I ain't even got it written down. I'll be honest with you. But I'll take a screenshot and send it to you.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that'll work.
Yeah.
So hey, Dent's joining us. Oh, I forgot he's one of your people. A 49er guy. They only have a chip because they missed holding call on Nick Bosa.
Thank you.
So he's part of your
Thank,
Niner game.
thank
But
you. I
you
appreciate
can
you
actually
teasing.
appreciate the love that Dick's been on our show before. So much love. In fact, congratulations EPI champ again. So, but I only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, only need the first 5 words of your comment. They only have a chip. You can stop right there because as much as
No,
hey,
no,
that's the
he is
reality.
right because that Bosa call was not called.
Yeah, he's right.
And so
They have the chip, and that's pretty much where you could end that whole conversation.
no,
Because no matter
whatever.
what you think,
We ain't going there. But whatever. Yeah.
look,
Okay.
I
The
know it's
truth
still too
comes out.
fresh. I know it's still fresh for y'all 49ers guys. So, hey, my team has sucked since 2002, 2003. So, I feel your pain. Hey, we can bond over this because my Raiders lost a Super Bowl to the Bucks of all teams back then in those days, and hey, it still hurts my heart every time I go back and look at that game because John Gruden coached against us, the very next year. Couldn't win a Super Bowl with the Raiders, but he won it with the Bucks. It hurts, so I feel your pain, but
It's different because
no,
that wasn't his team.
hey,
Stop it. That was not his team.
I'm trying to identify with your hurt and your pain. Hey, you need a
It,
hug digitally?
no, I
I'm
don't
here
need
for
a
you.
hug because it was some non-calls that won't call. But
Hey,
I'm not even gonna get into that. That was the past. We're gonna talk about something else.
all right.
So I
All
got your list.
right, I'm looking at
Okay,
yours too. So let's start. And interestingly enough, the first person on both of our lists is Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. Yes. So Dalvin Cook.
Right.
Question. He's number one. I got to give it to him.
Right.
I couldn't go nowhere else with this one. So
Okay.
definitely Dalvin Cook. So that's the easy picks. Number one.
Number two,
Um,
I'm surprised that we agreed on though, because I figured because we talk for those that watch the show regularly, we talk all the time anyway. So
yeah,
having Dalvin Cook is not a surprise for either. I'm surprised you went with Christian McCaffrey number two, because so did I. So
yeah,
we actually agree on the first two. In fact, we agree on the first three players: Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara.
yeah.
In that order, I am astonished
Are
because
you
I didn't think
surprised?
you were going to go Christian McCaffrey on it, only because he was hurt pretty much all of this year. He was hurt the year before that, so I was like, he might lower Christian. I thought you might have lowered McCaffrey on your
No.
list a little bit.
When I went back and I did my research, when
Uh-huh.
he did play this year, he actually was the number
Then
one
one,
running back
and that
when
was
he played this year. So I was like, I can't really take that away from him. So I can't put him ahead of Dalvin Cook, but I
right.
am gonna put him right at number two. So
I
definitely,
actually slightly considered putting McCaffrey number one again, only because like he can't get
I
hurt like
know.
that again. Because like you said, look at his numbers, and he averaged more than anybody did for the games he played.
Yeah,
But
they say he averaged.
yeah,
I want to say the 3 or 4 games he played, he averaged like 27 points, 27
yeah,
fantasy points, and that was not even like two quarterback base. That was one like running back
yeah,
lead base, 27 points a game. I mean, you can't be mad at him being at number two. Kamara, you got to put him there.
yeah.
I
After what
mean,
he,
he had almost 800 yards receiving. He had another 900 yards plus running. And then he had a bunch of touchdowns. So he did it on both. He did it both ways, catching and receiving. So now we go a little different at five though. I mean at
well,
four.
four, yeah.
So
Your four
um,
is Derrick Henry, which for you, I am once again. I'm actually shocked more about your four pick than you having Christian McCaffrey at number two because you don't like Derrick Henry because he doesn't catch out the backfield.
I'm gonna say this:
Right.
Derrick Henry, you can't disregard this guy. He went over 2 grand. He went for
2
20,
years in a row, he's
2,227 yards. You
right.
can't disregard the fact that he actually went over 2 grand.
Lead the league for 2 straight years, and
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it would be pure hate if I would just say, you know what, I don't believe in him. I can't be mad at him. Now, I
right.
wouldn't pick him above the three guys that I got up top now, but definitely he is. It's been some game. I'm gonna tell you this, and it's been some games last year. I played guys that had Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry has lit me up
Yeah.
last year, and I needed those games. Derrick
Not
Henry
just you,
had
lighting up cornerbacks, smashing them across the field. So
exactly. I
yeah,
mean,
when you can
the
do that,
bonus points that kicked in for Derrick Henry last year, he got like 70 something points, and I
right?
needed a win. He lost. I lost the game because of Derrick
Because
Henry.
a lot of
Literally.
people did.
So
A
I
lot of
was
people
like,
did.
man, I can't be that mad. Now I'm not mad at Devontae Adams
Yeah, I
as
have.
your number
Yeah,
4.
my four is Devontae Adams, and that's just because Aaron Rodgers is apparently unstoppable again, and as long as he's that number one wide receiver, there they're trying to bring on some other guys. Lazard was cool.
Yeah,
Big Rob at the tight end was doing his thing, and every once in a while Scantling would put up numbers, but this just. I was trying to think. Okay, I don't want. I got running backs starting to this, but when you got to bring in a wide receiver, And I don't think there's a better wide receiver, fantasy wise at
Yeah,
least, than Devontae Adams
definitely.
right now. So
I ain't mad at that.
yeah,
I got now number 5. We agree
we
on.
and who's both of our number fives?
Uh,
Patrick Mahomes from the Kansas City Chiefs.
some guy named
So,
Patrick Mahomes. Whatever. I
so
mean, no, it ain't even
hey,
about that. It's more about he's always the first quarterback off the board. I mean, he was second in the league in passing yards, right behind Deshaun Watson. So I mean, I gotta say, you gotta give it to him. I can't be mad. I can't, like I say, but it this list really wasn't made off just.
uh huh,
It was made off standard. For me, it was made off like standard leagues,
okay.
not just
Yeah, because we play in
quarterback leagues. It
some
was more of a standard league.
we play in some high scoring quarterback
Yeah,
friend heavy leagues. So yeah, I tried to base this off more your typical scoring as well.
yeah.
So
So more of your
all right,
standard
so
league. So
top
uh,
five, we actually agreed on 4 out of the 5 players. The only one that we have different is number 4. You got Derrick Henry, I got Devontae Adams.
yeah,
But that's keeping with the fact that we draft so much alike. So
that's true. That's true.
but
Now,
your number 6 is my number 4, Devontae Adams, and my number 6 is your number 4, Derrick Henry.
exactly.
So the top 6, we got like complete agreements amongst the
That's
guys. That's a tad bit scary.
yeah.
Now your 7 and your 8. For number
Well,
7, you have Stephon Diggs.
my 7 and 8 is because
Uh,
Stephon. I went back. I checked the numbers. Stephon Diggs
Stephon
led the
Diggs,
league in
mad
receiving this year,
numbers.
and I feel like the combination of him and Josh Allen going forward, I think he can. I'm not saying he gonna lead the league every year, but I feel like he's gonna be there
Uh,
every year, and he's gonna be that guy to get those 12 to 1,500 yards a year.
okay.
Because Josh Allen gets on the ball, so I gotta go Stephon Diggs
All right,
at
my
seven.
number 7 is I went with the injured guy again, Saquon Barkley. I'm like
Oh
Saquon
man,
Saquon Barkley burnt me this year. In fact, Saquon Barkley burnt me in the barbershop league, which is the most
man,
money league. Uh, but Saquon Barkley won me a championship. I mentioned EPAL for Dent. I, Saquon Barkley won me the EPAL league the year before, so I'm like he's gonna come back, and when he comes back, he's gonna get that work.
okay.
But so yeah, it's a risky pick, I think, at my number 7. But I think all being said, it's gonna be worth it. I can't help but
Okay.
notice as I scroll down, I don't see Saquon Barkley on your number top 25 at all.
He's
He was
there.
like he was gonna be 26.
No, he's there. He's there.
What?
He's
Did I
he's
skip
he's
past
there.
it?
He's number
Oh,
11.
okay. No, see, I see scribble. See, I'm with your handwritten notes. I see him. He's at
Yeah,
number 11. My bad.
yeah,
I didn't mean to
yeah.
just. So, all right. So we got him in there. All right, and your number 8 is the one I really like. You can tell the people.
Whatever, man. Look, man. Look, it's Travis Kelsey, people. Okay, Travis Kelsey is number 8. I'm gonna give him that because of the year he had. Travis Kelsey had
the
at one point of the year, Travis Kelsey was leading the whole entire league in passing among receivers and tight ends.
right,
So I cannot disvalue what he did. So I
right.
have to put him there. I mean, you can't go wrong with the 2 tight ends that's on my list. And it's 3
Okay.
only made my list as it is. But the
Hmm.
first 2 you can't go wrong with them.
Yeah, but
So
the first one on your list is Travis Kelsey. So I'm just saying. So
whatever.
you talk
I
about
mean,
me, but you agree with me. Now my number
hey,
8, my number 8.
I am a professional at the end
You
of the day that does
you can put
fantasy
your
football. So
personal differences aside. I appreciate
I
that.
gotta put that
Much
aside.
love.
But my beloved 49ers, Kittles is the best tight end in the league, in my opinion.
Just
And
not
that's
on your
just my
list.
opinion. And I'm leave it
I'm
at
looking
that.
at it right here. I can't wait to post this. But okay, so you have number 8 as Travis Kelsey. My number 8 is DeAndre Hopkins. And the reason I say is I still think Nuke is the best wide receiver in the league. As much as I love Devontae Adams, I just like Devontae Adams quarterback better than I like DeAndre Hopkins. But I got him in my 8th spot.
Now, I will say this. If I had to do a draft today,
Uh-huh.
he's probably the 4th, maybe the 5th receiver coming off the board for me.
Okay.
if you're going about numbers,
Hmm.
I mean, you can't go wrong because I put at number 9, I put Michael Thomas
Yeah,
ahead of.
and
So
that was really for me the hardest of all the guys in my 25. I was like, where am I going to put Michael Thomas? You have him at number 9, like you said. I don't have Michael Thomas coming up until, let me look at number 18. I think I have on my list, and the only reason for it is the quarterback situation bothers
I,
me a little bit.
well, I don't know because
Yeah,
the thing is with that is he didn't have his first 100-yard game until Taysom Hill came in the
yeah,
game. So you can say it's the quarterback issue, but I don't
right.
think that's going to be an issue. I think he's so talented, it don't matter who they put out there. Honestly,
I
I mean
I, I
that
kind of agree with you there.
160. I think the year before that he had 165, 107 receptions. People, not targets,
Yeah,
receptions. That's he's too
monster.
talented to not be in the top 10. So I can't take that away from him. Now, Devontae Adams and Diggs, I might go them before Michael Thomas,
Uh huh.
just because I know who their quarterback's gonna be. But
Right.
like you say, but I think he can win with any. He can do that with any quarterback. Honestly,
Okay.
I just feel like I feel that way.
All right. So your
So
9 is Michael Thomas. My 9 is Josh Allen, and that is a big jump considering how he did this last year. But I like what he did, and he's the second quarterback I have on my list. And I was trying to decide whether he'd be the number 2 or the number 3 QB up there, but the trajectory for me is Josh
um,
Allen. I couldn't see him any lower. I say he has to get in my top 10.
in a standard league,
Yeah.
I'm not going to hound him any
Well, in a standard, I'm not going this high on quarterbacks. Period.
period.
Honestly,
Yeah.
but the way I did this ring is these are the guys I think are the most valuable for you to have on your team, and
Yes.
so I put Josh Allen. He's gonna win. Well, knock on wood. I don't want to jinx him, but he's gonna very likely win people some championships next year if he plays like he did this year.
I can see that.
Yeah.
At
So
10, I
number
got
10.
Tyreek Hill.
Can, can
So
can I point out something?
it's
You
still
have
Kansas
three
City in
Kansas.
my top 10.
Okay,
Whatever.
you said it for me. So I just say my number 10 was James Robinson, and that's because the work down was scared talking to quarterbacks. I'm slightly scared about what's going to be the QB situation in Jacksonville next year, but I'll base this off of if he's going to get the work like he did this year, like
Uh,
Leonard Fournette's gotten in years past. I'm big
I
on James.
don't know about
You,
that.
no,
I think with all the picks they have,
right?
I think they may go running back at some point this year in the
Really?
draft. I'm just
So you think he
the
might just
rumblings
fall off?
around. I
He might
think
fall
they
off the
may
list
go.
altogether.
Yeah, I
Okay.
couldn't put him in my top 25 because
Well,
I don't know.
the fact that he plays for Jacksonville is what really had me like. I don't know if I really want to put him here, but I wanted to take some risk, and I admit
Eh,
this one's a risk.
I
Yeah,
can't put him there. I can't put him in the list because they could go a different running back because you got to realize
yeah.
he wasn't even supposed to be
He was not supposed to
the
be the start.
third running back last year,
Right.
and he just came and he did something. I don't. What if they get that number one that they actually wanted to play come back and he does work? I just don't know.
Well, do you think he can be a number one? Do you not believe what your eyes saw, or do you just because it wouldn't be the first time we saw somebody blow up for a year and then they disappear into oblivion the following year?
I mean, I'm just thinking about the fact that he wasn't. They lost, but after Leonard Fournette, they lost
Right.
the first two running backs due to
Injury.
injury
Hmm.
and some other stuff.
And I
So
think one
I
of them had
think,
like COVID or was on the COVID list
yeah,
to start the
one
year or
of
something like that. Yeah.
COVID, and he was up there for a while.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you trust that when they come back, does he have the job? I think it's gonna be a committee.
Yeah.
That's why I can't put him that high.
Okay.
I can't do it. I won't go do it.
All right. All right.
So
So the first 6 we agreed on completely. Starting to see a little bit of differences in our
yeah,
styles. But 11, you got
I
Saquon Barkley. I
guess
mentioned
Saquon.
before. My number 11 is Travis Kelsey. I had him slightly outside the top 10.
Yeah.
But okay.
I think Saquon. I had to put him here because I think
Yeah.
Saquon is definitely when healthy. He's one of the best
Yeah.
backs. I got to give him that. But
That
healthy
win is
in the
I
problem.
must say, yeah, that
So
win is the biggest problem with him.
But I think Dalvin Cook, McCaffrey, Kamara, I think Derrick Henry, I think those guys right now at this moment are a better value pick
Okay.
than him. But I will say this though, if he falls this year in anybody's draft and you get him
Oh
at a
yeah.
cheaper rate and he comes
Um,
back and does work,
that's
you got your masterpiece there.
it's
You're
way
doing
too
something.
early, but that's the one thing I'm really waiting to see. I'm just curious as to how far he'll fall because he was
Yep,
like the consensus number 2 this year.
definitely.
I'm sure he's gonna fall further than that. I'm just wondering, does he fall? I can't see him falling out the first round in a typical league, but I,
I can't see him. Let's just throw out the barbershop. The
yeah,
barbershop, for
that
instance, but just use that for instance. So, first two rounds of quarterbacks. I think going around at third, fourth, I think somebody's gonna take him. And I think I don't see him dipping in the fifth or sixth round. I think that's too low for
yeah.
him.
Oh no, second
So
round at worst if you just don't like the injury, but I think he's still a first rounder. But I think he slips maybe to the second half of that first round.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too. I
Okay.
think somebody's gonna take a chance on him because it's Saquon.
Yeah. Why
You're
wouldn't
going
you?
going off name value at that point. But I still think when healthy, I think he may overcome this injury and come back and be a monster. But if you get him at good value, I mean, and pair him with another good running back, I think you're way ahead of the game
Right.
with that. So definitely.
All right. So
Um,
all right. So we continue your list at 12. You got George Kittle,
Gotta put my boy there.
and
You
that's
know,
I mean he belongs high on the
yeah.
list. I have him lower, as you can
I
see. But
well,
he's coming up soon, and for my number, that's where I have for number 12. That's where I have Stephon Diggs, uh, coming up because basically just because of what he. And this is hey, I got Bills fan for life is gonna probably think I have him too low, but
yeah.
I like if he's gonna continue the way, and Josh Allen gonna continue that way. I think he's gonna potentially be the
I,
top wide receiver. So I gave him
I got
some boosts.
I got Eckler at 13.
And
Um,
that one was I wanted to put you had the guts that I didn't because I wanted to put Austin Eckler really high on my list, and I ended up sadly leaving him off altogether out of my
I
top
mean
25.
Eckler the last because he
Yeah,
missed the
he missed so
first,
much of this year.
but when he came back,
Yeah,
they say he was a top three running back when he came back,
yeah,
and I feel like with them having that quarterback coming back second year, him being healthy, I think he steps right back in
yeah.
and he does what he normally does. He doesn't miss a beat
I
personally.
I love him with Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert. I think he can be have a
I'm
monster
telling you,
year.
that's you gotta.
It's my ulterior motive. I might have left Austin Eckler off, hoping that nobody would pick him up. Like maybe I can persuade people not to pick Austin Eckler. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm glad one of us had him on the list because I think he deserves. I couldn't do it.
yeah. He
My
definitely
number
deserves.
13 is my first rookie making an appearance up here, Justin Jefferson with the Vikings, uh,
Whew,
because
that's
it's
pretty high.
it's pretty high, but I think he warrants it. Uh, he and Thielen had very similar numbers this year. However, I think
He got
in
more
the second,
yards.
yeah. But
Definitely
I,
have more
I
yards.
think he really didn't really start coming on strong till later in the season, and I think he's going to take off next year.
Yeah, I got Hopkins at 14.
Okay,
Um, I just think Hopkins that's a good spot for him.
yeah, that's not
That's a
bad.
good spot
I
for
had him. I had Hopkins
him.
as my number 8, but
Yeah.
I can respect 14. As my 14 spot, I have another rookie coming in. This one I knew you probably be like, "What in the world?" Cam Akers. I
I
I,
can't.
I am completely mesmerized what I saw Cam Akers do at the end of this year and in the playoffs. And a lot of people wanted Cam Akers they were like, "Oh, Cam Akers is going to be the guy with Los Angeles," and he wasn't for so much of that season. But at the end, he when we started to get his legs together, I guess he was a
He
rookie,
did work.
so he put in that work. And recent news: who's going to the Rams? Matthew
Matthew
Stafford.
Stafford.
I think
Yeah.
that offense is the Rams are going to have quite a. Cam Akers is the only guy I put in my top 25 for that team, but I think there's going to be a lot of offensive power coming out of them
I,
because they got rid of Jared Goff. They got a really good
yeah.
quarterback there. So Cam
I could
Akers.
Cam Akers. Okay. Now I will say this: like after the first six, is really it's kind of a little different here.
Yeah.
So it's good. That's good though.
Hey, we
That's
give
that's
it.
good.
We This is good. We don't want to have a list match too much. So
Yes.
15 different players, but we went with this same team. You went with Aaron Jones. I went with
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. So
I the only question mark for
mhm.
Aaron Jones for me is what team is he playing for?
Yeah, that's why I
So,
didn't have him that high.
but
Yeah,
as a talent, you
yeah.
cannot go wrong with Aaron Jones.
Do you think there's
So
even a possibility that he's still in Green Bay next year?
I think he is. If they don't,
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is gonna flip a wig.
Yeah.
So he really gonna ask to be traded for real. Then if they
If I
get rid
knew
of
for
Aaron
a
Jones,
fact Aaron Jones was going to be with Green Bay, I would have had him probably about where you have him. I
yeah.
Once again another tough call. I left him off of my 25 just because of the uncertainty of where
I
he's
I
going to be.
mean I can't leave him off. I just it's all about the talent is
Yeah,
there.
the talent. You
If he
know
is,
what, how different this is from last year's
yeah,
too early list, because I think I had Aaron Jones as my number 2
two,
last year. I had
yep.
McCaffrey, and then Aaron Jones was my number 2 guy, and he put in the work this year. I just don't know where he's going to be putting in his work next year. So
I just
we'll
think
see.
the talent's there. I think he's gonna still end up in Green Bay. I
Yeah,
think because they have to keep talent around Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers, or
Right.
he gonna flip a wig. They have the other running back, but I still think Aaron Jones is a better back than him. So uh, he's the other guy is more for the future type thing,
Yeah,
but Aaron
I
Jones is
agree.
the right now. So definitely. At 16, this is where Josh Allen comes in for me.
Okay.
Second quarterback off the board. And the reason I got him over Deshaun Watson
Hmm.
is because the running. I mean, we talked about this all last year. He had
Yeah.
8 rushing touchdowns. He had 437 yards
Yo.
rushing. He did really really good numbers. He had less passing yards than Deshaun Watson, but he made it up running the ball. So definitely, I gotta put him ahead of Deshaun.
Okay.
So
All right. So you had Josh Allen at 16. I've got Tyreek Hill. So that's where I put my third Kansas City Chiefs. So you
okay,
had your 3 Chiefs in the top 10, just to repeat for the
that's
audience.
fine. I
I had them
mean,
in the top 16. They all three of them have to be on this list. So I feel
I
you.
mean, I honestly think the three. I mean, I really like last year. I think I had Tyreek Hill pretty low,
Me too.
but I think this
Mistakenly.
year he
Yeah.
just he had what 18. He had a bunch of touchdowns this year.
Right.
He had a big number of touchdowns. So it's like you can't. He had 15 touchdowns. I'm sorry, 15. You can't really take that away from him. They anytime you needed a
Yeah.
touchdown or you had him on a team, he was going to get you 20 plus points a game. It is what it is.
Okay.
Um, at 17, I got Deshaun Watson.
And
And
uh-huh.
who you got?
And I was just gonna say, and for number 17, I have the second best tight end in the league, and it's not your boy, it's Darren Waller.
You're wilding, bro. Like you're really wild.
Now here's the thing:
Like
we had some news today. Well, actually, I think I started seeing it yesterday. Rumors that Derek Carr might not be with the Raiders next year. If that's the case, I scratch this because.
no, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna
But
tell you where you're wrong at.
all right,
I'm
go
gonna tell
for
you where you're wrong at. I'm gonna tell you where you're wrong at. Because
it.
I
Tell me
did
where
the
I'm
numbers.
wrong.
Okay, I did the numbers. Okay, Kittle's missed 8 games
You
this
gonna
year. Kittle's
extrapolate?
still,
Okay.
huh?
Just said you about
He
to
missed eight
extrapolate
games.
what he would have done. Go for it.
Yes. So he missed 8 games this year. He still was the fourth best tight end in yards. By the
Mm-hmm.
way, he had 600 and something
Mm-hmm.
yards. Wilder only had 1,100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't like he did. Excuse me. Like really? Stop it.
Uh,
Really? No. Get out of here, man. You're wilding. Wilder is the third best tight end, but not the second. We're not going for that slant over here for the other country. So you can take that and go somewhere.
All right.
That's my speech.
You and your boy Det are gonna agree on it, but I've got the facts on my side of what actually happened this year. And here's the main thing about the Darren Waller. He is the number one, and in many games the only target for the Raiders. They brought in a bunch of wide receivers, but he's gonna get the volume, and as long as things are like they were Like I said, the quarterback situation kind of scares me a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
if they're coming back the way they were, Waller's going to be that you can't guard him. And I know you can say
No,
the same thing about Kittle.
no,
No
but nobody's
arguments
see.
from me.
That's more of a
But
homer pick for you.
no,
That's that's
that's
that's real homerish. I feel like it's coming out a little bit.
but no,
So
I'm not a Raiders fan according to
you,
you. So how can I be a homer?
cause you fake like the Chiefs, but you really I will say you are a Raiders fan, but you fake like the Chiefs.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you this, that's more of a homer
Hey,
pick. And the thing is, Kittle's
almost 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. It
oh,
happened. You can tell me, you can do some math and tell me what Kittle would have done
okay,
if he
that's fine.
played all
That's fine.
season.
But
But
Kittle's gonna
we'll
come
find out
prove
next.
this year
Hey,
coming up.
that's
So
why
don't
we.
worry about it.
so
Yeah.
I'll move on. So that's my 17. My number 18. That's where I have Michael Thomas,
I
and
got
you got
Jeffries. I got Jefferson.
yeah.
Justin Jefferson.
That's where not bad spot.
No, not bad spot at all.
All right.
19, I got DK.
I have DK on my list. Not he's coming up very close, and I in years past, I've been a big Tyler Lockett guy,
Yeah.
and Tyler Lockett disappeared for about a quarter of the season. He finally had a good game near the end, but
Yeah.
DK is the guy, and DK is just too big, too fast.
Too strong.
Russell Wilson throws the ball, and he sometimes only looks at DK.
That's it.
So yeah, he definitely just belongs high on this list. So I can't get
Yeah.
mad at it. I like that DK pick at 19. My 19, Jonathan Taylor. And the only thing that maybe scares me about Jonathan Taylor, he came on strong again, much like Cam Akers at the end of the year.
Yeah.
The quarterback situation going into next year with the Colts is a bit sketchy. We don't know. Technically, Marlon Mack comes back next year. I don't think it matters. We
No, it
saw,
don't.
we saw Liam Hines put in some work as well. But I think this job is Jonathan Taylor's, and I think what we saw near the end is what we're gonna see like for a full season. So,
Well, they definitely know he's the man.
yeah,
They got to know he's the man. Coming back with Marlon
I
Mack is
think he
really
disappears.
not going to serve a purpose, honestly.
Not at all.
They need to let him just, even though Marlon Mack's a good back, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, but they just got to let him. They need to let him walk because he needs to start for somebody else.
Right.
Having him as a backup is just not going to serve him. I can see Hines staying there as your
Yeah, he's a
backup,
good third.
but I don't.
Third round.
I don't see Marlon Mack being there.
Third
for
down
them,
back.
so.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
rounding up the top 20, you have That's where you have Jonathan Taylor coming in,
Yeah.
and then I have George Kittle, who's the third best tight end in the NFL, no doubt.
No, not even a little bit.
But we do agree on who the top 3 tight ends are. So there we go.
Kittles, Kelsey, and Waller.
Yeah, not in that order. All right, we got 5 more spots. Number 21 is where I put Keenan Allen, and I had to. I was like, I mentioned Austin Eckler, who you were bold enough to put up, and I kind of wish I had as well. But I said I'm only going to pick one guy from that team, and so I said I'm gonna go with reliable Keenan Allen. That's probably the spot where I might have had Austin Eckler if I went with him. But I got
AJ Brown.
That was the hardest name for me to leave off because I
couldn't leave him off.
Yeah,
I could not. I mean, after the news, they said he played with a torn something. I forgot. I was like, this dude played literally with a real serious injury that was all he was supposed to been out for the season.
Yeah,
and he
say what, like game 2 or something, 1 or 2.
Yes.
They were told him he was supposed to be out, and he just played through it. And
he played through it. I mean, you can't be mad at him.
With the exception of Corey Davis scalping some of his receptions, AJ Brown was a monster injured all year. So yeah,
he was literally like 85%. Imagine 100% AJ Brown. I mean, you can't go wrong. The man said it had to be like a torn. It was like a ankle ankle sprain. Something. It was something crazy where he's supposed to be out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So I got
you. I like your 22. Another person I left off my list. I was like, David Montgomery put in the work, and I didn't put. Here's the only reason I left, because I talked, for those that watch the show, right? I taught David Montgomery like he was my brother. Like the whole. I always loved David Montgomery. I think he gets a bad rep. I didn't put him in my top 25 because I don't know Chicago. I don't know what to do. I said
I
I
mean,
don't want to put anyone in Chicago on my top 25. I even left Allen Robinson. I see coming up on your list off because I was like, they're
I
just
mean,
a mess.
you cannot leave Allen Robinson off this list. Allen Robinson has
Yeah,
played with probably the worst quarterbacks
he
collectively.
has played with the. Yeah, you're 100% right.
So,
Yeah,
and he still gets 100 receptions a year playing with the likes of Nick Foles,
right.
Trubisky, and whoever else they bring through the door.
Okay.
I mean, you can't go wrong with him.
All right.
Allen Robinson is really
Yeah.
he
Hey, he's
he's a top really if you're doing a top list just for receivers, he's literally a top 10 receiver in the
every
league,
yeah.
hands down. Period.
No arguments from me there. He gets all the
Tell him.
receptions. So I like your 22 and 23. You went with the Chicago guys I love. My 22 and 23 are DK Metcalf, and then at 23, that's where I have Nick Chubb. And
I couldn't put Nick Chubb on my list.
Nick Chubb originally was not on my list. And I tell you, since he didn't get up there, originally I had that spot for Josh Jacobs, but I was like, I can't deny what I keep seeing from Nick Chubb, and I hate his team. We both aren't really big fans of his quarterback. The fact that Kareem Hunt is there is kind of scary, but Nick Chubb produces.
He does produce.
He
He
produces.
missed. I think he
Nah.
missed like 2 or 3 games this year, and he still. What's funny to me is only I want to say it was only about
Yeah.
7 or 8 people that actually running backs that actually went over 1,000 yards this year. It wasn't a lot of running backs that did 1,000
Right.
total 100 like 1,000 rushing yards. So he was one of them, but I just couldn't put him on my list because I feel like the guy at 24 for me. And I know you're gonna disagree with this, but
Yeah.
Zeke made my list, but I think Zeke had he had total 1,200 yards,
Mm-hmm.
good numbers tight end. I mean, at touchdowns, he made. I had to put him on the list.
I left Zeke off my list, and the whole reason why is because he was terrible. I don't think he's actually terrible. I think he's gonna have a big bounce back year, but I had to
Yeah,
punish him and leave him off
I
my
feel like
list. So
they did not like when Dak got hurt. They didn't know how to use him, and then they started to learn how to use him probably way too late in the season, where
hmm
they started to get him the ball, throwing it to him out of the backfield and all that stuff. He's a dual threat. He can catch
yeah,
and he can run, and they won't using him correctly.
they
So
were
I
not.
think
Now here's a person that's not on the list, but while we're talking about Zeke, if Dak is back and if Dak is with the Cowboys, I like Ezekiel Elliott a whole lot more, which is reverse of what we used to say. We used to say Dak needs Zeke. I think
they need each
they
other.
need each other now, right?
They
So
need each other. I mean, we both seen them play without
yeah,
each other, and obviously, I
yeah,
think they weren't successful at all. So I
yeah,
think they need each other to be successful.
yeah. I
So
agree.
they make each other better. So at the end of the day,
Yeah,
I think when Dak is out there and when Zeke is out there, they kind of you can't
compliment.
do
Yeah,
you can't stack 8 in the box, and you got to be accountable for Dak. So I mean for Zeke. So
right.
you can't do it.
I
So at the
like
end
it.
of the day, you need both of
So yeah, you have
them.
Zeke 24, mine 24. That's where I had Deshaun Watson. And for all the reasons you said before, he's a monster. I would have had him higher.
Yeah,
Um, I
but
don't know where he's gonna play, but I
where's he
don't know
gonna
if it
play?
really matters because look at his wide receivers this year and the number of yards he put up.
Yeah,
I was like, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, but
yeah.
I penalize him a little bit. So
If he goes, man, the thing is, like you say, if he goes to the Jets, I'm like Jets wouldn't be my
that
first
would
option.
that the fact that he said he wants to do that is
Yeah,
baffling
that
to
wouldn't be
me.
my
It's
first
like
option.
no, you should. I hope he's joking.
Miami, Miami got some
Miami's scary.
talent. They'll be scary, but I think but the problem
hmm
he wants too much. They want too much for him,
Yeah,
and
but
they
because
want
I don't think
somebody
they
to
want him to go, so I think they're just putting out this ridiculous number for people to shoot for, so he is quote unquote forced to stay. But you probably saw that he said he's a sit out before he plays for Houston. That's
that's
that's a problem.
that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
I really think if Houston don't make a trade
yeah,
now or before April, before the draft, and they try to do it like in May or June, I think they're gonna
They're
lose
gonna
out
lose it. Right.
on
I
what they
agree.
can get. So I think they need to kind of do, because it's obvious he don't want to be there. So he don't want to be there. And then on top of that, he wants out. He already said he
Yeah.
doesn't like the owner. He doesn't like the new GM. He don't like the new coach. He don't like nobody. So he wants to be
You-
gone. Hopefully he ends up in San Francisco. But he, if he's in San Francisco, he definitely moves up
right,
past
right,
Josh Allen.
right.
Sorry, Bills for life.
Ooh, that's bold right there.
I mean,
Okay.
okay,
Hey,
think about
I
this.
say with healthy Debo and Brandon Ayuk,
And
and
Kittles
if there
and
is a
Mustard,
such thing as a healthy George Kittle
yes,
next
it
year,
is.
we'll find out that is some tremendous talent.
That's what I'm saying.
That
He
is
threw
some
for
tremendous talent.
4,800
Yeah.
yards with the likes of
Half of William Fuller,
half of William Fuller,
Brandon Cooks,
Brandon
and
Cooks,
who
and
am I leaving out? That
we don't even
sucks.
know. Somebody off the street. So I'm just
Yeah.
saying, just think about that. But I'm just saying, if he ends up, it depends on where you end up at. So
Yeah.
for me, I mean, well, I had him 17. You had him at 24.
Yeah.
I mean, not quite. No, not that big of a difference.
I mean, he belonged on the list. And so, ending our top 25, you got Darren Waller.
That's the
Great.
third best tight
That's
end.
the third best tight end in your opinion. I give you that.
Yes.
And that's where I slid in Josh Jacobs. So we both end our list with Raiders players.
So yeah, the
Not
third
bad.
best tight end. So
Hey, I take it. If he's going to be, hey, as long as he's in the top 3. So that's our list. That's our top 3. We'll post this to the website. We'll post it on Facebook and Instagram everywhere. So you can go back and look at it. Question for you, though.
yes.
Names that you couldn't put up there that you wish you could. What were the hardest choices for you?
It was some tough ones, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I will, like I told you earlier. I think because the list last year, this one was a little bit harder because a lot of the young guys
I
did
agree.
work this year. You couldn't really go wrong with any of the lists, like any of the names that we put up there this year. It's just some of those guys, like we missed. There's a lot of guys, honestly, that
That's the problem with lists. Whenever you have a list, you're going to neglect somebody. I got one for you. You left off Aaron Rodgers.
because right now the best 3 quarterbacks
Yeah.
in fantasy football is Josh. Well, not obviously Patrick Mahomes,
Right.
Josh Allen, and Watson. Pretty much in
And
that
Aaron
order,
Rodgers.
because that's Aaron Rodgers is the 4th one off the board though.
Yeah. Where do you put Tom Brady? Because Tom Brady was a big fantasy winner.
Tom Brady had 4,600
Yeah.
yards. Tom Brady.
I also noticed neither one of us have any players from the Bucks on our top 25. Shaq is going to be mad at you, just so you know.
He could be mad at you. I looked at Mike Evans. Mike Evans had like 12, 13 touchdowns. Mike Evans,
Right.
definitely.
I broke down Mike Evans on my possible list, and I had to scratch it out when I compared him to all the other wide receivers. I was like, can't do it.
If you look at the numbers,
Mm-hmm. And
from
Chris
top
Scott,
to bottom, you can't
couldn't put him in. And then Chris
Can't.
Godwin was hurt too much to really
Yeah, you
try to
can't.
get a grasp of where he might be next year. So
Yeah, you can't. You really can't put him up there if you look at the numbers. If you look at the total yards and
Yeah.
all the yards these wide receivers got, Jeffries was better than. Sorry to say it, Shaq, but Justin Jefferson was better than your boy this year.
yeah,
So
Mike Evans might be dropping out the top 5 for him. Well, for him probably not, but
I mean, going into next year, Justin Jefferson is a top 5 receiver next year.
definitely.
He's higher than I can't. You know what's interesting? I can't wait to do that wide receiver, the wide receiver tier list, because that's what we're gonna hear his mouth then.
Yeah.
He gonna be like, well, you notice I only put 149 on a bit.
Yeah. I would say I'm surprised, but I'm not. Only because George Kittle's the only guy that you can really, because you don't know who your quarterback's going to be. Your running back situation was y'all just had so many injuries and everything else this year that it's really hard to say, okay, these guys are going to build on next year. I like the return of a healthy Debo and the Brandon Ayuk, but I still need to know who their quarterback is. So I get it. I only had that 149er on my list as well. So
now I would say I looked at I think if I had to guess, I think CeeDee Lamb is going to
I
be
thought about that.
huge
Yeah,
this
that's
year.
another one I had written down.
Um, I thought about putting Dak up there, but Dak missed.
And
Going
that
off of what Dak did the
did you?
first
But
5 games,
I'm about to say, did you see his average for the games he played? Dak would have been the best quarterback in the league
in the
if
league,
we're going to use your George Kittle extrapolation formula.
yes, we are. That's what you're talking about. Yes, definitely we are.
So I almost put Dak up here, but I was like, I can't go because I don't even know if he's gonna be with the Cowboys. I think so. I think they're gonna franchise tag him and he'll be there.
I'm hearing. I'm
But
telling.
I don't know. Yeah,
I'm hearing like they. I'm hearing they don't want to pay him,
yeah.
but they gotta pay
I
him.
mean, if they
See,
wanted to pay him, they would have done it last year, right?
but he
So
in a bad. To me, he's in a bad spot,
I think he's
and
in a worse spot than he was last year trying to get his
Yep.
money. Yeah,
I say that because of the fact that now the fact that if they don't want to pay him, if he hit the open market, they're not paying him
yeah.
what he wants. He's gonna get paid probably
Someone's gonna give
25
him
to
the
30
money,
million
yeah,
dollars a
before
year.
they. I agree.
And that's it. He's not getting the 33, 34, 35, 38 that he wants. He should have took that deal last
Yeah,
year for $33 million a
turns
year and
out.
kept his mouth shut.
Now, here's the question: CeeDee Lamb, if they go in next year with Andy Dalton, do you still have
Wow.
CeeDee Lamb high on your? I know
I don't think they're going to Andy Dalton. I think
you
they're going with somebody
somebody
like
else.
a Sam Donald or a
Okay,
Trubisky. I can see a
a
Trubisky
Trubisky
there.
would be, I think, good.
Because you know what I feel? I feel like Dallas feel like with that talent that they have there,
Yeah,
with CeeDee Lamb and Ezekiel Elliott and everything else they got, all they really need is a quarterback that can throw the ball
hmm
really well. And I think they feel like because you got to think about it, they felt like they could win and go to the playoffs with the who just said his name
Andy Dalton.
with Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
So if they feel like that, imagine a Trubisky hit the
he's
market
much more
or
talented
much
than
more
Andy Dalton.
talented.
Right.
Andy Dalton hit the market. I mean, I'm sorry, Andy Dalton, but who? Even but another thing, they have the number 11 pick,
Yeah.
and the way things are unfolding now, Atlanta's keeping their quarterback,
hmm
and the only team really that's going to draft a quarterback is the Jaguars, and the Jets might keep Sam Donald. So what if one of those quarterbacks fall down, like a Zach Wilson
Right.
or Mac Jones? Do you think they go quarterback and say, you know what, Dak, we don't want to we don't want to pay you anyway.
Yeah.
We got our quarterback.
I mean, what else do they really need? For
That's
years
what I'm
we've been
saying.
talking like top to bottom. Their roster is so stacked. They're so good. They haven't been, but on paper they still look good. So I think
Yeah,
quarterback is where they probably go in that situation. Yeah, I'm with you.
I I think if they fall, if any one of those quarterbacks fall, like a Zach Wilson or Justin Fields or something like that, because you got to scratch Atlanta. They ain't taking no quarterback. They came out yesterday and said Matt Ryan, Julio Jones ain't going
I think
nowhere.
that's a mistake. And that
I
that
think
that's
it's a mistake too.
But speaking of that team, I can't help but notice also missing from our list all of Atlanta. No Matt Ryan's, which I
Yep.
know, no Julio Jones, no Calvin Ridley's. Calvin Ridley was a tough one for me. I
He
wanted to put
almost
Calvin
made my
Ridley on
list.
my list so much, yeah, because that's
Almost made
another
my
one.
list.
I was calling Calvin Ridley as the best wide receiver in Atlanta last year. So
See, but
yeah,
I was thinking, I was like, I want to put him up here, but it's like, man, all these other receivers. I basically went off the numbers
other
from last year.
receivers with stable quarterback situations that you know,
Yeah, I was
right?
like, man, I got to put him up there. But I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I think Dallas. I think Dak is going. Honestly, I think if I had a bold prediction, I think Dak is going to end up somewhere different.
Okay. Maybe.
Honestly,
But we're
I
gonna
just
have
think
our bold prediction show. So
they don't want to pay
let's
him.
see where it goes. Right.
Man, if they can get a quarterback, one of these young slingers out the draft, that they can keep under contract for the next 4 years
Right.
for a cheap rookie rate, they trying to cut costs anyway because
Yeah.
they paying the receiver, they paying Zeke. They're gonna have to pay CeeDee Lamb in the next couple of years. So it's like, do you pay all that money when you I don't know. I'm just saying I don't think so, man.
I'm with you.
I can see that going somewhere else for real.
Hey, well, it's way too early for a reason, so time will let us know some of these answers. So we got it started. So like I said, if you haven't seen the show before, like, subscribe, hit us back with questions. We'll be coming in and out in this off season as we get ready. We probably won't hit it heavy until the NFL draft time, but we'll try to do little pop-ins like this from time to time to keep it fresh. Keep ourselves on your mind. So
you won't forget about us, because you know the old saying, we ain't going nowhere. So definitely, you know how it is. But until next time.
Until then,
definitely,
all right.
we'll see you.
All right. Take it easy.